Hello. Welcome. How was your day? We are checking the audio. There we go. That's okay. We'll get it figured out. So, once again, how was your day? How was your Sunday? Yeah, it's the beginning of the week, technically, right? We still count Sundays as weekends, but it's the beginning of a week. Uh, my name is Crystal. I just want to welcome you to my channel. I have been working up some courage to go ahead and get things moving, and I thought to myself, you know what? It's time. And so, my wonderful husband, War Chief, if you haven't heard of him, you should. He is an incredible man. He's an incredible streamer. And he absolutely loves to party. So we were partying for the last couple of days. So it is now a little bit of downtime, right? Everybody needs a little bit of downtime. For those who work 9 to 5, you're about to go to work tomorrow, you may even work tonight. You need to refresh. And so that's kind of what my channel is about refreshing. We talk about some deep issues. I open up about quite a bit of things that I used to hide from. I used to say, well, let's keep the image up. Let's not talk about that one. And I know probably a lot of you have families that are similar to that. What happens in this house stays in this house. And unfortunately, that can be to our detriment. And so I've looked through Twitch, I've looked online, tried to find some things that I would enjoy watching to kind of enjoy myself. And I couldn't quite find anything. You know, it wasn't relaxed enough. It wasn't outside of politics enough. It wasn't, it feels kind of phony motivational. And that's not kind of what we're about. We're about encouragement and really dealing with some heavier topics, but in a lighter way, digestible way, so that you don't feel overwhelmed. You don't feel like, man, what did I just hear? God. So we are here tonight. Tonight is my first stream. I just want to welcome anyone who's here. You know, it was more so for me just to get over those first stream jitters versus, a ton of views or a ton of people that I know coming into it. That's perfectly fine. I didn't broadcast on my social medias or anything. So we are here. And I want to give you a challenge. You like challenges? I like challenges. I want to give you a challenge. Chief, my producer's telling me my camera's frozen. I'm resetting. But I want to give you a challenge. And that's to maybe just for this 30 minutes, I'm not quite sure how long I want to go, hour and a half or so. Try not to check every notification. Try not to look at other tabs. And it's not because I'm narcissistic. I'm not crazy. But this is a challenge to see within yourself, how much can you focus? Are you okay with your own thoughts? Are you comfortable in your own skin? Are you afraid of the silence? A lot of us are. That's okay. So it's a small challenge. I won't challenge you to become a monk or anything immediately. Go on a 3-day fast. But I want to challenge you to just put your phone down, put it to the side. If you're watching on your phone, maybe don't look at other tabs. Maybe don't try to check out other streamers at the same time. Don't look through every notification all over your social media. Just pause for a second. How much would you say? And feel free if you are watching and listening, and if you can enter comments. How well do you know yourself? How well do you know your giftings? That's the title of the stream tonight. How in tune are you with self? That's very important. In the day and age we live in, we have seen ourselves through other people's eyes. My grandfather said this about me. My mom said that about me. My friends think this about me. My coworkers, take it or leave it. But that's an important concept. And that's a concept we don't focus on enough. Because whether or not you realize it, you are enough. Take that in for a second. Me with all my flaws, my failures, my missteps, my pitfalls, I'm still enough. I'm still okay. I'm still in there. I actually have something within me that can come out, and not just to make money, but to benefit others to the point where if they didn't have to pay, you still do it. Can you say you're secure in yourself in that manner? Can you say that I am okay with this? I'm okay with Crystal. That's my real middle name, by the way. We'll get more into my story as we go. It's a heavy one, so I won't put it all on you the first time. But do you feel like you're enough? Think about how you woke up this morning, how you felt before you went to bed. What was that conversation you had last that maybe I should go back and talk to that person again? Maybe I should clean that up a little bit. I am still enough. None of us are perfect. None of us have achieved the ultimate greatness, because life is a journey. And a lot of the times we get frustrated with ourselves when we haven't done it all. I'm a perfectionist myself. I'm a little OCD. I'm a little bit harsh on myself at times. It's because I'm like, I know what I want and it's taking too long to get it. But can you say, I am enough? Can you look yourself in the mirror, in your own eyes, and say, I am enough? That's a heavy one. That's not a light one. We've talked about it. It takes a lot of forgiveness. It takes a lot of patience. And it takes a lot of analyzing. Analyzing is not bad. Overanalyzing, yes. And that patience works with that analyzing or that analytical side of yourself to take it one step at a time. So, come on in. Have a seat. I got my wine. I'm a whiny. I like beer. I like a little something to calm the nerves just a little bit. And I'll work on my background music. It's supposed to be birds chirping and the sea crashing against the beach, and so we'll work on that. And so, as I said, it's the first stream. I just said, look, if I don't do it today, it might be another month before I start. So I was like, that's it. No more procrastination. But let me take a sip. Understanding self. Who are you? Not just your name. Not just your profession, not just I'm a wife, I'm a husband, I'm a brother, I'm a sister, I'm a this is that, and that. Who are you? Who are you? What calls out to you? Personally, I have learned in my life. When I was younger, it's funny. When I was younger, I was like 4 or 5 years old. It was weird. I had this personality that was kind of a grandma-ish. At 5, my nickname was Grandma. Because I wasn't a jittery kid. I wasn't a, oh my gosh, I wasn't a Tasmanian devil. Not fully. But I was one that would just sit back and observe. And I would just watch. Huh. That's how that works. Huh. That's what they meant by that. Huh. That's what that looks like. That's where that's going. And of course life hits you. We've all got that thing in our childhood that affected us, and trust me, I'll get to it, because I want this channel to be a place where I can just bare my soul if I want. I want this to be a place where I can express, but also talk about those things that are maybe taboo. And a lot of us, we don't have people to talk to. I've come to understand that. And when we talk, are you really listening? Are you really hearing me? Are you thinking through your next response? Your one-up story? Your, well, my situation's harder than your situation, so what do you, I don't think we have enough people to just listen. And I'm a good listener. So Chief and I, will work on making sure that, people can call in and interact on a different level outside of the comments, because I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear it. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I like to hear it because there are crucial points in our lives where we just need to get something off our chest. We need to verbalize it. We need to be able to vent without a bunch of opinions coming at us. We need to be able to have a sounding board sometimes. We need interaction with each other, interaction on a level that's not just shoot 'em up games. No offense. Not well, if you do 4, 5, 6 steps, you'll be all right. We need interaction that's beyond a screen. And depending on where you are, you may not have that. For many years, I did not have that. And so, of course, like I said, growing up, we all have that moment in our lives that it steered us in a different path. It put us on a different trajectory than maybe some of your friends or family members would have thought you would have gone. It was a hard patch. It was a rough patch. And it changed our lives. And so I went through a lot of that. I went through a lot of hard times when I was younger. I had a lot of make or break moments, a lot of testing and trials, even at a young age, as many of you probably have as well. And so I want to be open about that. My middle name is Crystal. I won't tell you my first name. I don't want you to Google me. I don't want you to find me on social media. Not quite yet. We'll get there. All gloves, all masks off. But my middle name is Crystal. And I've looked that up. Crystal is transparent. It's not glass. It's very different from glass. It makes a high sound. You know how you can dip your hand in whatever liquid's inside and then they rub the outer rim. and it makes that high sound. And as I got older, I realized that foundation was important and I had to learn more about myself. So I looked up my name and I came to understand that the crystal is not something that's supposed to be tucked away. It's not something that's supposed to be hidden. It's not on an occasion. It's something you're supposed to surround yourself with. It's something that should be heard. It's supposed to be beautiful. And for many years of my life, I had tucked away. I silenced myself. People were trying to pull on me and, encourage me, get me to move forward. And I had just fallen into this place of depression where I had completely cut myself off from relationships. And when I say relationships, I mean friendships, family, good positive ones, because of those times in my life that I was withdrawn. And I have just gotten to the point where I'm like, you know what? It's time to put it all out there. It's time to be me. It's time to be heard. It's time to see myself as beautiful. It's time to see myself as worth being around. You are. You are. Let that one sink into. I don't care what they said. I don't care what your mom or dad said to negatively impact you. I don't care what it was. I don't care if your foundation was you were an orphan. I don't care if you have been through abuse. I don't care if you ridicule yourself to the point where you don't even look in the mirror. You are enough. It's a time of reflection. It's a time of understanding. Because without that foundation, we are truly ships without a sail. We will be blown and tossed to and fro, whichever the wind takes us. And that's important. You are important. So, just a little bit of homework. Just a little bit of thought-provoking moments. But you are enough. And out of that, you will find that thing that drives you. So, now that I've kind of set the stage in that way, next question is, what is that thing that gets you out of bed every morning? That even if you didn't collect a paycheck for it, you would do it anyway. Chief and I were talking about giftings. We talk a lot about that kind of stuff. Because for some reason, this society, and I'm from America. I'm in the USA, Oklahoma, to drill down a little bit more. And for some reason, we have gone with this notion that some jobs are not respectable as others. We have. We said, if you're on television, you're important. If you can hold a crowd, you're important. If you can speak well, you're important. If you can make this thing and you get paid a lot of money, you're important. And our value sometimes is connected to that. So I want to ask you, what do you do, or what do you have an interest in that gets you out of bed every morning, no matter what? Something you look forward to. What are you good at naturally? I'm not talking about something you've had to work at and you've had to hone for 5-10 years. I'm talking about you pick it up and it's like breathing. It's so natural that people watch you do it and you're like, what? What are you talking about? You think that's cool? I just do that. I just threw that together. That's not even my best work. You want to see some good stuff? What is that thing? Because I realized, as I was saying, when I was younger and as I grew up, that I had an ability to speak. I had an ability to look at someone and kind of encourage them in that gifting, to pull that out of them. Not that one. You're trying to focus on that one because you think that one's gonna make you money. Move that one to the side. Push that one out. I'm talking about. That one, right there. Let's pull on that. Because this day and age, people tell us that we have to work on our weaknesses. They do. They tell us that we have to look at that thing that is keeping us down and that we cannot clearly see past. And if you can't do this and that, then you got to go to this class and that class. And pause. You're overwhelming me. Wait a minute. What is that thing that's the strength that you just naturally do? It could be a carpenter. You could see a piece of wood and see what's in that wood. And I'm talking about a beautiful sculpture, a piece that you can put on the mantle, something to be ogled over, something beautiful. You could be someone who is really good at gaming. For some reason, you just got ridiculous coordination. Maybe piano playing, pianist, cello. It may be fencing. It may be construction. You don't even have to measure. You can eyeball. Chief and I were talking about it kind of last night in the stream that he put on his channel. I could never be a seamstress. No desire. I love nice clothing. I love comfortable things. But I am not one to be able to look at someone and say, I know what you should be wearing and I can make it. You give me a vision and I can put that together out of just raw fabric. Some people can do that. I love that. I love that because I don't want to make my own clothes. Crystal, War Priestess, I ain't got the patience for it. Let's be honest. I also can't fix my own car. We need our mechanics. Don't look down on any profession, especially someone who has worked on it. It's a natural gifting, and they just get it done. It's seamless. It's flawless. It's like, whoa, that is art. You have taken something that was simple and made it beautiful. Never look down on that. And so, what is your thing? And I see a couple of responses. Calligraphy and writing. Foxy, hello, welcome. Foxy has beautiful penmanship. Her hand flows. She doesn't even have to pick up the pen from the paper. It just glides. Chief said, writing and speaking. Absolutely. Absolutely. But you need to think about that because I want to challenge you to do a little bit more of it. Focus a little bit more on your strengths than your weaknesses this week. Like I said, everything is a slow path. Everything, especially if it's something that you've been working on for a while and you're like, oh my God, I got to do this. I got to do it. I can't wait. It's not something you got to bite off a huge chunk of. Just a little bit. Let me just write for 30 minutes. Let me just, like Foxy said, I see this thing. I want to create a brand. I want to put something on paper, and see what I can make. I'm sure she could draw all of this stuff I have on my walls. I'm sure. And I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Because when you focus on your strengths and when you walk in those giftings, it's like breathing fresh air. Now, Chief, he's good at writing and speaking, but that man can also throw a punch. That man is like Sherlock Holmes, sizing up a situation. He sees that brick on the ground. He sees that branch on that tree. He knows what's on his side. And he can calculate in his mind how long it would take in the case that things went badly. Absolutely. Foxy said, take a word that means something to me. Make it art. Make it beautiful. Absolutely. And so when we do that, like I said, I want you to think about that. And I want you to maybe take 30 minutes. Don't even have to say, okay, every day I'm going to do it this week. No. Let's be realistic, because you probably dropped them New Year's resolutions already. It ain't even March yet. That's okay. It's still Black History Month. Hello. So we're going to get some history for all of us. But what is that thing? Take just 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes. That thing that, as you said, is beautiful to you. Mechanics, when they can get that engine roaring, when they can take a piece of junk off of any just random parking lot or, out of the junkyard, and they then make it beautiful on the outside and the inside, that is beauty to them. And I'd love to drive that car. What was that, Chief? Oh my goodness. I have a funny story. Absolutely. So Chief and I, when we first met, it was, 6 years ago or so, and I had a car, my goodness. So I was living in California, and it was about that time for me to leave California. I wanted to move back to Tulsa. I wanted to come back to Oklahoma, and get back to my roots. There's a degree that I was pursuing, and I'm debating whether or not to pursue that. It's in engineering. And so my friend said, hey, I'm feeling like we need to switch places because there's a program in California, and I know you need to get back to Tulsa. So what we gonna do is, I got this car here, right? And I want you to buy this car from me, which was fine. I want you to buy this car from me. We'll switch over the registration, get the license, blah, 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 the license plate and everything. We'll get it all done. And so I did. That car, go ahead, Chief. That car was not worth the money I paid for it, but that's okay. I understood it. It was something, hey, just so that you got some transportation. It said Diva on the tail. Now, I like fancy stuff that is not fancy. If you a diva, you don't have to say you a diva. You don't have to put that on your person. And so that car, my goodness, I ran that car from St. Louis to Tulsa. And when you start with a car that is already on its last legs, oh gosh, exactly, Foxy. When you have a car that is already, oh, did it mute? Nope, I'm seeing it all. And that's fine for me. That's okay. Yeah, Chief is helping with the stream. We're getting in the flow. We're trying to figure this out. So just bear with us. Just come on and hang out. But that car, it had somehow kept going even through a torrential rainstorm. There was a storm in Tulsa so bad that I thought that I would end up in Kansas after my car had stopped moving. I was watching my nieces and nephews. I was watching, exactly. I wake up in some weird Oz. I don't want to go to that Oz. But that car, so this storm that we were in, right? It had rain pouring. The wind was blowing. Trees were falling right in front of me. I had a visibility of probably 5 feet at the most. And this is a regular road in Tulsa. You should be able to see clearly for miles anyway, because everything here is flat. And I had gotten to my apartment at the time where my nieces and nephews were, and they were calling me, Sunshine, Sunshine, you okay? You all right? I'm like, baby, I'm okay. I'm going 2 miles an hour, but I'm moving. I'm going to get there. Just bear with me. Anywho, so, as I said, I do not look down on anything, anyone. I have an incredible mechanic that has seen me through the worst cars in history. And my mechanic, because after that storm, there was literally a headlight hanging out of its socket. And I was like, Mike, I don't know what to do. Oh my God, Mike, please help me out here. And he was like, Crystal, you have poured so much money into this car. After I help you with this, I recommend that you put no more money. If a wheel fall off, don't buy a wheel. Just invest in a new car. I'm begging you. To an artist, I was driving a catastrophe. I was driving something that did not deserve to be on the road. And so I went to Mike. Mike, here's where I am. I ain't got no money. Let's be honest. Let's be real. I ain't got no money. I love you. I appreciate you knowing that I will get you back. But the problem is the way my bank account is set up and the way this car is about to break down on me. This is a daytime car. I cannot drive this car at night with the light hanging out. Please, Mike, help me. Help me, brother. And he was like, I got you. Mike goes in the back and was like, I got a quick fix, no money. I'm going to take the zip tie and I'm going to wrap it around the cord of this. And I'm going to cinch you up, push her back in. By the time I got to Mike, man, this is the crazy part about it. When I got to Mike, I was still pulling branches out of the front grill of my car, man. It was bad. And it wasn't even the worst looking part of the car. But that's what I'm telling you. The gift. The gift. Butter, I see you here. I appreciate you, brother. What is your gift? We were talking about giftings and understanding self because we have had so many people impress things upon us. And it's to the point where we have even tried to emulate others. We have had to try to say, well, am I kind of copycatting them? Like, in my own voice, who am I? And so, giftings, brother, put it down on in the chat. I want to hear it. We've got calligraphy and writing. We've got writing and speaking. I've talked about mechanics. I've talked about seamstress and tailors and people of that nature. People who have those kind of giftings. So go ahead and put it down in the chat. Go ahead, join the conversation. Because that gifting, because of Mike's gifting, because of that little thing, that he would do it even if I couldn't pay him. That's what people need from you. People need that. And I'm not saying give away every gift. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying break yourself. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is hone it. First of all, understand it. Because that thing you're doing on your job, it may not be your gifting. It may not be. Yeah, absolutely. It may not be your gifting. You may be really good at it. You may have sucked it up and said, you know what? I need this money. So I'm going to go ahead and deal with these crazy people. But the giftings that you have is what people need in this world. People absolutely are desperate for it. And don't believe the hype. The market is not saturated with it. Don't believe that lie. Don't trick yourself. Check yourself. Don't trick yourself. Because your sphere of influence does not have what everybody else has. You know, a lot of times we're like, oh, well, I'm not as successful. If I can't reach 1 million people like that person did. I'm not successful if I can't make at least this much money off of it. Why? Why are you boxing yourself in like that? Why are you telling yourself those lies? That's a lie. That's a lie. Wow. Foxy. Absolutely. The calligraphy. There you go again. Because there is beauty when you can bring a perspective that no one else can bring. And that comes through the sum of all of your experiences, good or bad, frustrating or joyful, hurtful or not. You see the world through that eye, through that lens. And so when you realize that there are not a ton of people who can naturally pick up a pen and just make something you just want to watch. You're not even interested completely in the finished product as you are in watching the process. That kind of thing. You got it. You got it. You got something. I promise you. I don't care what they said. I don't care what they lied and said to you. You've got it. And you got to think about it. It takes a little time. But when you get that, and when you realize that, and when you begin to flow in it, and just little bit by little bit, let me, 30 minutes here, maybe 10 minutes there, and you realize how gifted you are, it will change your life. Absolutely. No doubt. No doubt about it. It will change your life. And so let me share a little bit because I've got to promote my man. He is over here I don't know why he's laughing. I call him my man all the time. But my husband, the war chief, has been through so many things in his life that in the common circles that we're around, people haven't even experienced a fraction of it. And so last night's stream, and if you want to check it out on War Chief. He's in the chat. You can follow him. Please do follow. He said, you know what? In the beginning of our relationship, he was so downtrodden. And he said, I don't feel like I have anything to give. I don't. And when you've accomplished as much as he's accomplished, because he's been to the U.S. Open 4 times before leaving high school. He's got so many trophies stacked up. He doesn't even display them. They're locked away in a closet behind a bunch of others. It's not even like open. Oh, wow. Okay. It's like, shoot, well, let me get this basket out the way. Let me move that bin. Gotta move that mat. And so it was nothing to him. He breathed it. He had honed it. He had moved in it. He had worked in it. And he had gotten to a point where he just said, you know what? I don't feel like there's anything else I can offer because I've beaten up my body so much that, yeah, I'm naturally gifted at bodyguarding, security. I can do it. I don't want to. So that's out. Something I've done for 30 plus years of my life. I feel like I don't even really want to return to it. So where do I go from here? You might be older. Listening, you might be older. You might not be younger. You might not be in your teens or 20s. I do prefer 21 and up because I'm not going to promise that every stream is PG. So. But he was like, yeah, I've been on the world stage. And sometimes, if you don't mind me saying, sometimes we're clear as crystal over here. I feel like I've already peaked. And that might be hitting home for you. You're like, wow, I did that in high school. Did I peak in high school? Did I peak in my early 20s? Is it like now downhill? Should I just settle in, get fat, have a couple babies, and just die in obscurity? No! Don't do it. And so we had to have many conversations to talk about those things, to say, okay, so what is your natural gifting? It's time to move all that extra out the way. It's time to move that stuff that, yeah, you did it, but were you in love with it? You were good at it, right? You made a lot of money off of it. You got some notoriety on it. You clearly got trophies and achievements galore. What are you really naturally gifted at? And for some reason, he could not see it within himself that he was naturally gifted at talking. Brother, you can sell ice cubes to an Eskimo. He didn't realize that. And so last night's stream showed him that what he had to say was important. Because there are too many people who have stopped fighting. There are too many people who don't have a place to rest. There are too many people that don't know how to rally a cry and put all that emotion and all that adrenaline in the right place. They lash out. They get frustrated. They're like, I am not crazy. You are crazy. But I have nobody to help me understand I'm not crazy. And so I was like, Chief, you know what you got to do? Because if I want to party and have a good time, I'm calling Chief. Chief will turn up with the best of them. You could even be sad and downtrodden at that moment. You could just feel like, oh my God, my world is ending. It is over. It is 2022. Biden is in office. And completely freak out. And Chief will be like, what? Biden? This government has been locked. We the people. And he did that. And you guys gave love and understanding. And he's crying. He's going to make me cry. I'm so glad I got on waterproof makeup. Because when you flow in a gift and you realize it's not as common as you thought within your own head, and that it's worth something to other people, and it's shown back to you once you put it out there, once you prepare, because OBS and Twitch, for those who are streamers, know, yeah, you might got good content, but you got to get the stuff together. You got to get the right mic. You got to get the right lights. You got to get your background. You got to understand, okay, what do I do? Any content creator understands that. This is not easy. And Chief has proven to me, this is not easy. And so when he got that reciprocation, he said, oh my God, it's true. That is my gift. He didn't put on any show. He was just being Chief ass butter. He was just being Chief. He was just being himself. Nothing extra, nothing fabricated. We turn on stuff, and if you've got good intuition, it's like within 5 minutes, you're like, bro, you are faking. It's weird. Turn this off next. But it was genuine because it was him. It was really him. So what is it that you have I know personally, my gift is encouragement. I can, and it's really weird, and I didn't realize that other people can do this, and I'm not touting to tout, trust me. I'm touting to help you understand. I can look at a business plan. I can look at someone's image. If you ask, of course, I'm not just judging people to judge people, but if you say, okay, War Priestess, I'd like to look like this. I'd like to have a business. I'm kind of good at this, and I'm really interested in actually moving forward. Hola, Charlito. And you say that, and I can somehow name the first 3 crucial things you need to do. And not only just do that to just be like, okay, bro, you got to work on this. But because I know that there's something deeper there, and we're going to pull it out. Not that one. You're trying to focus on that one. You're trying to put up a wall and say, well, I've been in management for like 5 years, so I'm good at managing. Pause. Take a step back. Move on over. That one. That right there. That's the gift. Come here. Come here. I know this is weird. I know you said, oh, nobody wants that. Nobody cares about that. Nobody's interested in that. You don't see. I can give you an outside perspective. Hold up. And when I pull on that, when I've got you going like that, when you're like, oh shit, she was right. It's like fresh air. Fresh air. So, I'd like to see from Charlito, from Butter, and Julian. Hey, brother. I'd like to see, what do you think your giftings are in the chat? Hype. Now, we a little mellow over here, but that's okay. It's Sunday. We're going to rest a little bit. But what is your gifting? Do you know yourself well enough to know, okay, I'm good at that, not only because I've worked in that for 5, 10, 20 years, but because I just breathe it. Have you paid attention to yourself? Have you? And like I said in the beginning of the stream, I wanna challenge you to do something really quick. Don't check them notifications. She gonna call you back. Don't worry about it. Facebook gonna still be there. Just come on in. Focus. Come here. I need you here. Gotta stay right here. We trying to do something right now. We doing stuff. So, what is that thing? What is that gifting? We want to hear it. Not everybody gets to say it. Not everybody cares to listen. We want to hear it. Chief and I, we want to know. We've got to know. Don't get on Facebook. Don't get on it. Don't get on that dirty book. You don't need it. You don't need it for a few minutes. Just a few minutes. What is that gifting? What is it? Pause. Don't. Okay, you gonna turn off the phone? Like if you're watching me on the phone, don't turn off the phone. Just saying. Okay. If you're watching on a computer, maybe just try to have this tab open. Because, as I said in the beginning of the stream, not everybody can even sit for 5 minutes. Just you in your own headspace. Are you comfortable enough to do that? Like really? Like no music in the background, no even ASMR, even if it's meditation. Can you sit in silence? In silence. I didn't say anything for a couple of seconds. Did you freak out? Were you checking if I was buffering? Like, how much silence can you deal with at one time? How much focus can you have? Because if you can't focus, man, I'm telling you right now, this world is filled with stuff that if you just touch it. And that's why I said I'd like to set a limit. I don't know if we can set an age limit on this, so that we don't have little kids in here, because I'd like to talk real. So I'm going to pray and assume and maybe change up some words and give you some keys. And you tell me. Actually, you don't tell me this. You just kind of reflect on yourself. We're not going to put your business on blast quite yet. Not everybody's ready to be clear as crystal. But things like adult movies. They pull on you, man. They do. Video games, scrolling through Twitter, scrolling through Instagram. All that endorphin rush. Can you go one evening without all of that? Can you put down your phone and not even pick it up until the next day? Ooh. I like that, Foxy. I've been reading through some of the chats. I like that suggestion, and I like that. Yeah, exactly. Gotta take a step back. Gotta look. And nobody can do that better than you. Because you're the only one to determine your own trajectory from this point. From tonight, you're the only one to make that change. So, can you even stand yourself for 5 minutes? Because if you can't stand yourself, how are you expecting anybody else to stand you? If you can't listen to yourself, if you can't say, wait a minute, let's just calm down. Wait, why can't I stop thinking about 10 different... Calm down. We all got a little bit ADD right now. I know. I got a little ADD to myself. But I want you to do that. I want to challenge you. When you come and you join in and you watch, that you just kind of chill. Kind of take a step back. Like I said, me and Chief, last couple of days, we partied. I don't think we could count the number of calories of real food that we put into our system. We were just partying, man. It was celebrations all around. But this morning we said, no, we need to kind of reground ourselves. And we did that. And so we've got our routines. We did not skip any routines. If you need a bath, if you need this, if you do have your meditation time, if you journal, But it is great to walk away from the phone. It is great. Chief broke his main phone by accident. He doesn't have two phones. He ain't got a burner because he slanging something on the side. He just has, he just keeps hold of stuff. But he broke his main phone and he can barely use it. And he's just chilling with it. He's like, okay, I'll message you. I'll figure out a way. To the point where he couldn't scroll. Where he couldn't just roll over. Because some of us, oh my God, I'm guilty of it myself. I will be laying in bed knowing I just got some good sleep. Roll over, scroll. Ugh. I gotta stop doing that. I gotta say, okay, let me just refresh. Let me get on the couch. Let me move to a new room. Let me, let me just go ahead and touch base with myself first before I take in everybody else's political, this, that, before I go deal with people at work. Let me just understand War Priestess. Understand Crystal. And so what I'm striving to do is do that as well. So you're not alone in that. And like I said, right now, it's just me getting over my jitters. So I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you just kind of hanging out. I appreciate you, input. Like I said, if there were 0 people watching or if there were 20 people watching, who knows. I was going to do it either way because I had to get over myself. I understood myself. I understood that if I procrastinated even longer, it's going to be another month before I even tried. So I just said, you know what? Time to break it. Time to pop that bubble. And I did. And so I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate it because there's so much I've got to talk to you about. Like I said, this channel is about being real with self. So you can be the best version of yourself. Go ahead, Chief. That's the only way to heal. It's the only way to really get to know yourself, to be happy with the person you looking at in the mirror. It's the only way for you. I mean, if you don't even know what you like, how can you even know what your giftings are? Are your likes solely dependent on what the likes are of the people in the group? Is it? Think about that. Have you put yourself down to the point where you're like, okay, so this really good friend of mine, if she says it's okay, then it's okay. A lot of us live like that. Let's be honest. Let's be real. A lot of us live like that. We are so concerned with other people's opinion, we've lost all self-value and understanding. And if they don't like you that day, then you don't like yourself. Oh, I wanted to cuss. I'm not going to cuss. I'm not going to cuss. F them. F them. They'll get over it. You'll get over it. You'll move on. But your self-value and self-worth cannot be tied to someone else's opinion of you. It can't. I lived most of my life like that. I did. It was hard. It was struggle for no reason. It's full of depression, full of anxiety. Full of pain. And we just got to the point where we're like, we don't care. We don't care. Who cares? You don't like me? Okay, change the channel. You don't like me? Okay, why are you talking to me? I already know you didn't like me. Why do you voice this? Bye. As they say, bye. It was rough. It was rough. And I imagine it's rough for you too. If you have told yourself, I'm going to lose that weight, and you haven't done it, and you can't look yourself in the mirror, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get there. Don't worry about it. We're going to get there. If you do not like yourself because you cannot forgive yourself for what you said to maybe a childhood friend or a best friend recently, we'll get to it. We'll talk about it. This is the first stream. Let's get comfortable. Let us get cozy in here. Let us get used to it. Let Crystal get over her own self as well. That's right. And I appreciate that attitude, Foxy. Unfortunately, not everybody has that. And they need friends and people like you who can say that. Who can say that? Because if I don't get a like on this picture, oh my God, this is the best picture I've put out in like a month. And if I don't get likes on this picture, something ain't right. I might be I'm getting anxious. Ain't nobody looking at it. Oh my God, ain't nobody looking at it. Ain't nobody checking for it. Oh shit. Am I a failure? Stop. Pause. Don't go that way. Don't go down that road. Pull it back in. Pull it back in. It's a trap. It's a tarp. But you got to be comfortable enough with yourself that you say, you know what? Here is who I am right now in this moment. I don't like it all, but I'm here. War Priestess did not want to get on camera weighing this much. I did not. I need to lose 30 pounds. And I understand you say, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate your compliment. I appreciate you trying to second guess me for me. But I understand that. But I did not want to get on camera like this. And I had to say, you know what? I am here. This is it. This is me. Take it or leave it. As Foxy said, you know the way out. Don't let it hit you. With a good load split you. Because I can't be me if I'm constantly worried about your opinion of me. If I can't be honest with where I am right now, with myself, with who I'm looking at in the mirror, when nobody's around, when I try to weigh my failures against my achievements, when I'm in my own head, you are bringing extra noise and I'm trying to figure shit out over here by myself. Bye. Okay. But I had to say, you know what? Here it is. Let's go. Chief, we got to do it today. We got to do. Let's Black History Month. And it was a New Year's resolution. I know you dropped yours. Where is that though? Where they at though? Where them resolutions at? And I had to just do it. I was like, whatever happens. War Priestess will look different as we go. I change up my style. I change up my look. But I'm just going to be me. That's just me. I can't put anything phony out there. It's not real. It is not honest. And until you can be yourself without outside influences, you cannot move in your gifting. You cannot breathe that fresh air. You are in a cage. You are so bogged down. You are so bombarded by every other influence. Pause. Mm-hmm. Chief is talking. I don't know if you can hear him or not, but he's talking. We're going to get some input. Okay. Yeah. Let me wrap it up in one word. Haterism, jealousy, envy. You can't do that. I didn't even do that for myself, said your mom. Did she say that to you? Have you had a family member say that to you? That is impossible. That's what they said. That's what they try to convince you of because they couldn't do it within themselves. And so when you allow whatever that influence is outside of yourself to take over more than your own view of yourself, you will fall inside of that same pitfall, that same trap, that same hole that they're in of unhappiness. And so, clear as crystal, we will get free together. I will have question and answer sessions. There will be a lot of these where we just kind of talk. We'll just kind of chat. Like I said, I'm kind of rowdy. I might have a mood where I'm like, this one is hitting right. Or I might have a mood where I'm like, get that burr. Give me two of them. Turn up. But either way, I want you to leave feeling refreshed. I want you to leave thinking about something that you hadn't even thought of in a long time. You hadn't given yourself, that kind of attention. You're too pulled on by your job, too pulled on by, things that are going on. You're too pulled on by stuff that's in the, politics. Which bathroom to use? Where should I be going? Who said what? What was that last disagreement? I want to bring it back to center focus, man. You can't keep going like that. Every culture has a way of resetting, right? Even if you're an atheist, people have reset and said, let me refresh. Whether it's meditation, whether it's yoga, whether it's going to church or a mosque or a synagogue. But you got to get refreshed. And a lot of the times, the best way to do that is by yourself. Because even when you're amongst all that, you walk in, you're still paying attention to other people. There's just distractions. And so that's what we got to cut down some of the distractions so that we can really deal with some stuff. And so it'll be a challenge for you sometimes if you want to. Like I said, it is your personal choice, whether or not to watch, whether or not to, maybe keep that tab, only one tab open, or maybe, okay, yeah, she lagging a little bit. Or she rabbit trail. Let me go ahead and scroll. Ooh, what did she say? Oh, got a match on my Tinder. Hold up. Wait a second. Pause. The booty gonna still be there. Wait a minute. We'll get to that too. Whatever is distracting you at your time zone at this moment, it will still be there. I want to challenge you to just pause for a second. That gifting, like I said, I have friends at work that, and I work in a job where we manufacture, I work in a chemistry plant, and we manufacturing the starting materials for the medical field, for the aerospace, dentistry, technology. And I had a good friend of mine there. She baked me and Chief brownies, bro. Brownies. You like, I could whip up some brownie. But when you have a gift, it will mean so much more. I don't care, big or small. And she was like, oh, well, I just want to, maybe just do a little cake, I'm like, woman, if you don't open a little cafe and put that thing on that shelf and watch these people eat that, because the brownie was so good. It tasted like a lava cake, even though it was sitting clearly on my desk all day at work. Sat in the freezing cold car. We kind of set it up on the counter until we got ready for it. And when I tell you it could change someone, that's why I said, do not look down on anything, any profession, any gift that you have. Do not, please do not. It will change someone's life for the better. Absolutely. Whether you realize it or not. Whether you are like, okay, they could just go to Walmart and get this. No, they cannot. They cannot. Because a gift and a manufactured item is not the same. It's not the same. Like me and Chief, our gift is the gift of encouragement. And like I said, we will open the show up. I want to go beyond chats. Like I said, this is kind of a podcast. And so I want to hear more from you. We don't have enough people listening to us as individuals sometimes. So we actually want to hear. I've worked, basically as a kind of counselor, not quite counselor. And I will tell you, I am not certified in any way. I am just here to create a place and a space and to get off my chest those things that have kept me kind of hidden, depressed, and in my box. Living like a weird ghost of myself. You might be there yourself. I understand. So that's kind of what we're here for. That's what we're doing. Absolutely. That's what I was saying. You can't do any of that. You can't move past any of that until you stop and say, first of all, who am I without Twitter, Facebook, social media, Tinder, whatever you're into? Who am I really? So that's where we are. That's what we're doing. And I'm not going to stay on too much longer tonight. Like I said, my stream is not the kind that needs to be 6 hours. I'm okay with being in front of a camera somewhat, but I'm not like a person that walks around with a GoPro strapped to their head. You got to see every waking moment of my life. Maybe even sleep. No, I'm not that type of person. I need my refreshing time. And Chief and I have pre-gamed and partied and done so much stuff this weekend. We haven't actually spent some time together. And so I need that before I go to work with people tomorrow that are crazy. And so you probably have that too. And that's why I said we party Friday, Saturday, maybe Friday, Saturdays, and then we kind of chill on Sundays. So if you tune in here, it's going to be a little something, just a little taste of something. Okay, let me give it my undivided attention. Let me think about what she said. And then, okay, let me just enjoy the rest of my evening. Enjoy the rest of my morning, depending on where you're listening from and what time of day you're listening. And so, absolutely. Once again, I just want to thank you all for coming by. This is just a short stream. We were just doing a testing. And like I said, Crystal had to get over herself. I had to get over myself. And I'm glad I did. It was just, first stream jitter. Let's move on. Let's do this. And I love you guys. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. I thank you all for sharing. This has been great. They will be longer. I'll start sooner now that I'm kind of getting the flow. Like I said, we had to check on Mike and all this kind of stuff. Oh, Julian. I appreciate that. And so, yeah. And so, I just want to leave you with this one thought. If you don't do it, who else will? And if not now, when were you thinking about doing it? When were you thinking about reflecting on yourself? When were you thinking about moving out of job and moving into something more meaningful for you? Not just to do it because it makes you money, but to do it because you enjoy it. We only got one life, man. We only got one. Nobody else can do it for us. And at any point that you're feeling like you're a prisoner inside your own head, your own body, your own emotions, it's time for a change. And so, you've heard the adage, what you gotta lose? What you got to lose? What do you have to gain from just pausing, taking a step back, and thinking, writing, spending time in that? It makes you happy anyway. Like, come on. It makes you happy anyway. That's what I'm saying. I'm not telling you, you got to go out there and be a mechanic. I'm not saying, you need to completely change your life around something. I'm just saying, think about it. What would make you happy no matter if you got paid for it or not? Think about it. It already makes you happy, bro. Just do it. Just go for it. And nobody can do it like you. The market is not flooded. Your sphere of influence is not flooded with it. Nope. Don't believe that lie. Like I said. And I'm repeating. And sometimes it feels like I'm kind of rabbit trailing. But I'm repeating because I've heard this before myself. When I was deep in depression, I heard it. And sometimes the repetition of it makes it click. Finally, something turns on in your head, in your heart. Even if it's not today, you might remember these words. You might come back next week. You might, see what's going on. But I know that repetition breaks down a wall. And so that's what we're here for. Because we hate to see people living like that, rehearsing the hatred, the unforgiveness, the pitfalls. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have. Shut up. And we watch it. But here's what we do, me and Chief, like I said. We say, okay, you focusing on that. That's actually what we would call a symptom. I hear you. I hear you. Yep. And you got frustrated with her. And you cussed him out. And you've been depressed because of that. Pause. Let's move that out the way. Let's drill down. And you're like, oh shoot, she was right. Oh my God, wait a second. That hurt. That was uncomfortable. That was not what I was hoping to hear, but that's exactly what I needed. Because we don't want to see you staying in that place. We hated it. We attempted suicide several times before we knew each other. And it's sad. And if I have an opportunity to speak to someone to stop them from choosing that option that should not even be on the table, I've got to do it. But all of those symptoms, it's because there's something deeper. But you cannot even approach that deeper issue until you can first pause, and second, understand yourself and see what that light is in your life, that thing that brings you joy. You would do. You can't even approach that without foundation. And so that's what we're building. Foundation. I love you guys. I love you guys. And I say that for real. I love you guys. And it is sad. And it was sad. But we're not there anymore. Because I'm here. I finally said, I got to stop hiding myself. God told me, you got to stop hiding yourself. Chief told me, Crystal, if you don't speak up when you need to speak up, if you can't be yourself comfortably, something is wrong. You are a goofy person. People have seen you. They think you're polished, and you are. But you're goofy, and you don't even show anybody that. What is wrong with you? Yes, your face changes like crazy when you're talking. Be comfortable in it. Be you. And that's what I want to see for you. I want to see you happier. I want to see you healthier. Because as I go up, I've got to reach back. I've got to reach to the side. I've got to reach down. I don't care how far down you are. I got to at least drop something. A lifeline. And we all just kind of rise together. Because life is too short. I will tell you more about my stories. I will put it all out there. Trust me, clear as crystal. It's not just something because it's cute. It's because Crystal has been hidden, like many of you. Sad and depressed, put away, unheard, unseen, and dying. That's right. Chief was just reminding me another process. Crystal, they come from dark places. They've seen some shit. Diamonds, precious metals, crystal. But when they're in the light, they're the beauty. They're the best version. They're the rendered part that everybody needs to see. And people will absolutely pay a ridiculous price to see you be you. Charlito, Butter, Julian, Foxy, Chief. They will pay hand over fist because you are you and nobody can be you. And so, I will bid you adieu. Have a good night, my friends. We'll see you next week.